everyone, and welcome back to Nature Play Lifestyle. Today I want to talk about group circle and how I make it fun, engaging, hands-on, and inquiry-based. You probably already have a group circle plan. You will probably have an approach to your own group circle. Maybe you sing some songs to welcome children over. Maybe you do some name songs, maybe the calendar or the days of the week. In my group circle, I focus a lot on the community aspect of it and exploring what it is to communicate with each other and building that skill in group circle. So we do the hello song. We have our own hello song. We'll do our name song. We'll count our hikers, which is a super important thing to do in connecting that piece of community to our classroom. And then we talk about what our schedule of the day is going to look like, what activities we have planned. And if you're wondering how to build community in your class space, feel free to go to the link above or in the description box below. I made a video about how I build community in class that spans wider than just the class space, but also with the parents and how to build that space for them to feel like it's a nurturing space for their child to be and that you see their child, which is so important in our field as preschool teachers. I already mentioned this, but today is going to be all about inquiry-based. So one way that I do provide inquiry-based education at Group Circle is through the Circle of Wonder. And this is an approach that Warden, an educator in Scotland, she is definitely one of my favorite educators and by far one of the people I go to the most when I'm thinking about how to grow as an educator. One of her approaches that she takes is a Circle of Wonder, which offers children to think more critically about what they're learning about and start to talk about what things they're interested in. The way I set it up is I like to use a black piece of fabric. I just went to the fabric store and bought a fabric that was, I think it was called like sports, like a sport kind of fabric. It's a fabric that doesn't hold on to moisture. It feels kind of like a tent a little bit. So if it rains, this isn't going to get wet. It doesn't cling on to the mulch, which is great because our classroom was full of mulch, the one that I used to work at. So I like using the Circle of Wonder as a way to introduce a topic that the children are interested in. So what I'll do is I'll lay out this piece of fabric and invite the children to come sit down. I like to have the children around this circle. For me right now, this was just a square, but we're gonna go with it. I didn't put it into a circle yet, but we sit around the circle and I pull out a box and the box has question marks all over it. And for the purposes of this video, we're going to pretend that the children have talked a lot about seeds and we're really wondering about seeds while we've been hiking. They've been asking a lot of questions. So I figured this would be a great spot for us to start for this inquiry-based education. So in this box, I'm going to put a bunch of different hands-on things that they can touch, they can wonder about, they can share. It's going to be full of objects that are both 2D and 3D. And might inspire them to think and wonder more about what seeds are like. The goal of this activity is to get them to talk and start communicating. And while they're talking, I'm taking notes on my piece of paper, or I'm giving them a piece of paper to write their ideas or draw their ideas on, and then we put them in the Circle of Wonder. The children are able to freely touch these and explore these materials that I have laid out. In the beginning, I do definitely have to limit the materials that we have and talk about how we take turns. And if you're interested in me creating a video about how I introduce the Circle of Wonder, please feel free to let me know in the comments below. The Circle of Wonder is just, like I said before, it's just a place for us to come together and start wondering and gathering information about what these seeds mean and where these lines of inquiry might go. So I might realize that the children are drawn to thinking more critically about seeds that travel. They might not be really interested in these burr seeds that I have or seeds that are just fall to the ground and stay on the ground. Instead, they like to explore how the seeds are moving when they get to the ground. So I might see children I might see children throwing the seeds up and watching the seeds fall down. I might hear them expressing their wonder about why seeds are made the way that they are. That might start to build my inquiry and what I think the children are wanting to explore more of. And setting up this activity for them to explore helps to facilitate that wonder and encourage that discovery and encourage that exploration activity. It's hands-on, gets children moving, and gets them interested in the seed process. Not only does my group circle happen in the classroom, I also think of group circle happening on the hikes. And many times I think educators forget that you can take a nature walk and leave your classroom, and that inquiry, hands-on activities can still happen. Nature walks don't have to just be going from your back door of your classroom to a spot and then coming back without having any hands-on activities. I definitely am the type of educator that wants to provide that learning while we hike. There's always different ways that we can be communicating with each other. There's always different ways that I can be listening to what the children are saying and thinking about what they might want to learn more about. While we hike, I like to sit down on the trail and I like to talk and storytell and hear what they have to say and what their wonder is about. So I want to bring this up just as another way that we can think more outside the box when it comes to gathering together and having this learning take place, because it doesn't have to happen all the time at a circle. One example I wanted to share when it comes to this idea of seeds and how we can provide that hands-on learning and inquiry-based learning when we're talking about seeds is having a group circle on a nature walk and sitting down and exploring seeds in the area. Before I go into more detail about that, I want to just pull back and just say that before I take children on a nature walk, sometimes I want to scope out that nature walk before I'm with them. So I know where the cool spots are going to be that are going to have the materials that I want to talk about on my hike. And if you're interested more on how I get prepared for nature walking with children, I'll link above one of my videos that I've made that goes through my thought process on how I plan a hike. So let's go back to where I was before and talk a little bit about when we get to this spot. So we'll sit in group circle and I'll have each child share an idea about those seeds that they found. Maybe they found some dandelions, right? And maybe they're exploring how they move and they're talking about how when the wind flows, the dandelions will actually start to disperse. Or maybe they are really interested in like seeds that have caps on top. And they're talking about those caps, wondering about those caps, and sharing those caps with the kids in our class. This provides them that hands-on learning where they can go out and engage with the natural world in their own way, come back, share their ideas with the whole group circle, and we can go from there to our next part of our hike. Another thing I might want to do is actually bring out examples of seeds that maybe aren't in the area that I've collected on a walk before. So I might want to bring something like this out and wonder what is inside of this. So I might start by saying, I noticed this is really, really spiky. When I touch it, it kind of hurts my finger, but I wonder what might be inside. And do you have any ideas what might be inside of here? And the children will start to call out those thoughts. I'll be writing those ideas down just so I can have a place for that documentation to happen and that wonder to keep on happening. And then I might offer them to open it up. Again, this might be hard with 14 children. So what I like to do is plan for that and give each child one. So I would pass this out and I would just remind them that they are spiky and just say that, and they will find out themselves that when they touch this, it is spiky. It doesn't hurt like it's going to break skin, but it definitely is spiky spots. And then I'll offer the opportunity for them to open it however they might want to. So as they're opening it, they might notice that in the inside, it's all white. And it actually feels really spongy, I guess. That's the word I would say, is really spongy inside. And then when they get all of that exterior off, they'll notice that there is a little seed inside. And it's just a fun, different way for them to engage with the seed instead of us as educators saying like, this is a seed, and not allowing them to actually have that hands-on experience of opening the seed pod in order to find their own little seed. I find that providing those opportunities, they're going to engage in wonder and discovery on their own without me in the class space. So that's why I like to provide hands-on activities, and that's one way I might do it on our hike. Another way I might do it is providing some sort of mindfulness or yoga activity that they can do with us in the group circle. This activity is just thinking about what's happening in the natural world and resting and relaxing and taking a mindfulness moment. That's what we call it in our class space. And I like doing that because at the end of it, just like nature cinema, which I shared in my last video, gives them the opportunity to connect with themselves, make sense of their world around them, and use their senses to explore what's happening in the world around them as well. Those are just some examples I wanted to share how I might lead group circle outside of our normal group circle. For lack of a better word, group circle might work. Another thing I like to do is write down their ideas of what they already know about seeds and what things they might be wondering about. So I like to use just a whiteboard and a dry erase marker and record those answers or record their questions on here so they get a chance to see their words that they say on a piece of paper. So let's say the child said something about that some seeds fall to the ground. So I'll write down some seeds fall to the ground. And then I'll hold it up, and sometimes I'll write the child's name on it so then they know, oh, that's what I said and that's my ideas. And then at the end of the day, I can share this with the parents and they can see, oh, that's what my child said that day about what they thought about seeds. And again, it's a great interactive way to make this group circle more fun and hands-on and inquiry-based, which is so important to me as an educator. One thing that I like to use to take notes, especially since I'm outside, is just a write in the rain type of a paper. And this paper is made, I don't want to show you all my notes, but this paper is made in such a way that it doesn't get wet. It doesn't get wet at all. You can put this underneath your faucet, which I'm not going to really do because I don't want to, but it doesn't get wet and it works really, really well as an outdoor educator. And they also make pens that work for the write in the rain paper. Any ballpoint pen will work, even a pencil, but they make their own. And I like to write my notes in here, and then I like to share my ideas and my documentation with families, either digitally or when we're in person together, so they know what their child is wondering about and what I learned about what they thought about seeds. All right, lastly, I feel like I have been all over the place with this video. I didn't really plan it out, but I have so many ideas that I'm sharing with you all because honestly, this is one of my favorite things to talk about. So one thing I just wanted to say before I end this video is that I like to do a lot of storytelling with children, and this also provides them the opportunity to share their ideas and share their thoughts as a group or in the group together. So one thing that I like to do either in group circle or when we are on our nature adventure outside of our classroom is I like to sit around a group circle or sit in an area that is beautiful and just start telling a story. So what I'll start is I might say once upon a time there was a seed, to go off the seed activities that we've been talking about. And then each child can add to the story. And by the end, the story is kind of goofy maybe, or the story makes a little sense. Some kids make it really goofy. And sometimes I do end up writing down those ideas in my journal. Other times I don't, and just we laugh about it and think about the group story that we made up together. But it's just another way to make group circle engaging and hands-on and provide different ways that they can be involved in that group circle, especially when we're learning about different nature-based things that are happening in our natural world. Okay, that was a lot of different things. And again, I did mention that video felt like it jumped around a lot, but I hope that you found some value in this. And if there's any information that you're ever looking for or any ideas that you're wanting to talk about, just know that I'm here as a resource and thanking you for being here. So have a great rest of your day and I'll see you soon. Bye.